This video is sponsored by Nintendo. Have you ever wanted to investigate a brutal crime and its connection to an urban legend? Well, I have just the visual novel-like mystery game for you, the long-awaited next installment in the Famicom Detective Club series, Emio, the Smiling Man. Pull out your Nintendo Switch and put on your thinking caps, as this game takes you deep into an intense mystery story of suspicion, isolation, and fragility that will certainly keep you on the edge of your seat. I'll talk about how the gameplay mechanics work here in a moment, but first, a non-spoiler story introduction. Everything starts off pretty simple, you know, just a dead student whose head was covered with a paper bag with an eerie smiling face drawn on it. And to make matters even more interesting, this victim is showing many similarities to the victims of Emio, the Smiling Man, a killer of urban legend. This case starts off right away with so many questions, and a smiley face paper bag over a victim's head is a pretty creepy concept. We better solve this one quickly. You'll not be alone in your investigation though, as you are an assistant private investigator who's a member of the Utsugi Detective Agency, and you've been tasked with helping the police solve this crime. One of the big questions here is, of course, has a serial killer returned, or is this the work of a copycat? And you'll be discovering the answers to all of these questions, and trust me, it starts to get pretty mysterious and intense, but I'm not going to spoil that for you. Jumping into the game itself, let's now talk about gameplay and gameplay mechanics. So regardless of where you're at in the world, maybe you're at a crime scene, which is where my character is currently at on this load point. Maybe you're back at the detective agency office, or maybe you're even in a cab. Regardless, you're going to have access to a set of tools that you kind of have to choose how to use them to try to progress things forward. In the top left of my screen right here, you can see that I have call, engage, ask, listen. Both of those are used to interact with characters. And since I'm out at a crime scene by myself right now, those two tools I'm not going to be using in this particular case. But in this particular situation or scene, there are characters around. So if I click on call and engage right here, my character is going to call out to see if there's an officer that can come over and assist me, because I'm looking to try to get a meeting with the inspector. So if I click on people nearby, we have now met a new character in the game, and this is a police officer, and actually a character that you'll learn more about. It's not just a regular police officer, but once you've interacted with the environment and had a character come over and speak with you, you'll then click on ask and listen to try to get some more information out of them, or ask questions, of which you will get access to a bunch of different questions that you can start asking as you get more information from each character. And then we have the look examine tool, which is going to be very useful, especially when I'm out at an actual crime scene like I am right here. But it's actually a really cool mechanic, because you can use it even when you're not at a crime scene. You can use it when you're back at the detective agency office, or in that scene that I just showed you with that police officer. I can look around and examine the environment to try to get some details and some information about what's going on and who these characters are. Now, look examine here at this crime scene is going to be very useful. If I click on look examine and then where, I get access to a magnifying glass, of which I can move around the screen and try to examine different things to try to see what happened at this particular scene. So if I click on the warning sign, we get a little bit of information. If I click on the bushes over here, useful information when investigating a crime scene. Now, there is something in the environment here that if I click on, it will progress this scene a bit forward, and that is the pump station right here. And this will bring me to the back of the pump station to continue my investigation. And jumping over to a completely different scene later on in the game, as you can see, I'm at a junior high right now, and I can also just kind of look around and get information on the bulletin board here, further examine this character in front of me. We can even see the school nameplate. There's a lot of interactivity with the environment to gather clues and information. And below look examine, we have use phone if you want to call different people that are in your phone contacts, of which you will get more contacts as you progress the game. As you can see here, I can call a couple different people. Let's try to call a Yumi right now. And a Yumi must be busy, but you have that option in many of the scenes to talk to people that are not actually at that scene. And you'll also notice here that we can type in numbers on our actual cell phone, which is a really neat feature. Now below that, we have the think option, which is actually really important in this game. So whenever you gather important information or you learn something important, or even when you feel like you might be a little bit stuck as to what you need to do next, if you click the think option, your character is going to think, and basically it's going to be out loud to you, the player character. And below think, we have the ever so useful open notebook tool here, and your notebook in this game is very, very important. As you gather information, as you meet characters, your character is also going to be taking notes. And as you can see right here, I have several different characters written down. If I click on others and then go to police officer, you'll see the police officer that I met in that previous scene that I showed you, and there's some information written down about that interaction. She recognized us from a past case, and we even have information on what she was wearing. Some of this information may not be that useful, but some of it also might be. Very important to keep an eye on and gather all the information that you can when you're solving a crime. So now that you get the gist of how the gameplay works here, let's briefly talk about the characters that you will meet. So each character in this game has their own unique personality, and considering how mysterious and bizarre the entire case becomes, sometimes you might need to question who you can really trust. And what I love about the characters in this game is that they truly feel like they're alive in the world, and as the case develops, you'll see how their perspectives change and different personalities come out. The characters are constantly reacting to the events in the game in a realistic way that makes them quite endearing as a whole. Meet Ayumi, who has her own notebook like you do, and you'll be comparing notes with her, and there's a lot of great reactivity behind this. You even get to assume the role of a Yumi in certain parts of the game. I can't talk about this game though without mentioning the visuals, and this game clearly features a 2D anime art style, which I'd say fits perfectly for a visual novel-like game experience. The scenes are really well done, you have great immersive music, there's a variety of different locations that you'll be visiting, which helps keep things feeling fresh, and my personal favorite aspect of the art direction are the numerous cutscenes, some of which jump in during your regular gameplay, and other cutscenes play out as a bit of a reward for completing something and making progress with the case. This brings us to the ending of the game, but don't worry, I'm not going to spoil anything. What I do want to say is that the game offers one heck of a conclusion to this mysterious story, and the developers certainly do not let you down in the visual department here. It's an incredibly rewarding feeling after all of the detective work that you've done up to that point, and after it's all over, you'll be sitting there thinking and reflecting on your entire experience. It's a very well done ending and extremely impactful. So if you'd like to immerse yourself in an incredibly captivating story to solve a mysterious, gripping case, I'll leave a link below for you to check out Emio, the Smiling Man Famicom Detective Club for Nintendo Switch. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you to Nintendo for sponsoring this video, and good luck, detectives.